I'm still wearing this sweater that smells like your skin, tracing the outlines of where we have been. The coffee is cold and the hallway is still. I'm waiting for footsteps that never quite will come back to the doorway, come back to the light. I'm just a ghost in our kitchen tonight. You used to say we were written in gold, a story that never would ever grow old. But the ink started bleeding, the pages they tore. Now I'm just a shadow outside of your door. And I'm looking up at a sky full of stars, but all I can see are the distance and scars. Every light is a memory I can't erase, a burning reminder of your hidden face. They say that they're beautiful, shining and bright, but they're just a million ways to feel lonely tonight. Yeah, the world is wide open, but I'm falling apart under a sky full of stars and a broken heart. I saw a reflection that looked like your grin in a window downtown where the winter crept in. I reached for your hand, but I only touched glass, watching the ghosts of our happiness pass. Are you looking up too? Are you wishing on one? Or am I just a moon that lost track of its sun? They're beautiful lanterns, or so I've been told, but to me they're just fires that leave me so cold. Each one's a forever we didn't quite keep, a promise that's buried 1,000 miles deep. And I'm looking up at a sky full of stars, but all I can see are the distance and scars. Every light is a memory I can't erase, a burning reminder of your hidden face. They say that they're beautiful, shining and bright, but they're just a million ways to feel lonely tonight. Yeah, the world is wide open, but I'm falling apart under a sky full of stars and a broken heart. So many lights, but it's so dark down here. A sky full of stars, and you're nowhere near. No, you're nowhere near. tears settle cold inside the porcelain. A bitter draft of things we should have said. The ink is drying on the letters I'll never send. Just ghost-written lines for a life we no longer lead. I watch the sunset bruise the edge of the skyline. A violet ache that mirrors how I feel. I'm still tracing the architecture of your ghost, waiting for the silence to be something real. And the room is far too wide without your shadow, and the clock is ticking rhythm out of time. I'm a library of stories with the pages torn, searching for a verse that's still mine. And I'll give back all of the stars we named. They don't shine the same in this hollow air. I'm folding up the light to hide the shame of loving someone who's no longer there. It's a quiet kind of breaking, a soft-spoken goodbye, like a candle burning out beneath a heavy sky. Take the constellations, take the silver and the blue. I can't keep the heavens if they're empty of you. The bookshelf holds the weight of our shared winters, poetry we read until the spine began to crack. Now I'm just a student of the distance, learning how to love what isn't coming back. You were the metaphor for every beautiful thing, a syntax of my heart, the way I learned to speak. And now I'm stuttering through the ruins of us, with a spirit that's grown weary and a pulse that's grown weak. They say that light travels for 1 billion years, just to reach a pair of lonely weeping eyes. So maybe the glow I'm seeing tonight is just a beautiful, ancient, shimmering light, a memory of fire that died long ago, still haunting the dark where the cold winds blow. Hey, so I'll give back empty of you. Just the dust and the glass. Let the night be the night. Let the shadows pass. All of the stars are just holes in the sky now. Holes in the sky. Holes in the sky. The tears settle cold beneath the rim. A ghost of steam where once your breath had been. I'm tracing circles in the winter dust, the quiet expiration of our trust. The sky is bruised, a heavy shade of slate, the kind of gray that learns to carry weight. I watch the embers flicker in the grate and realize, love, we've come a day too late. Like ash on falling snow, I'm drifting down a silent black against a porcelain town. The heat we held has vanished in the air. I reach for you, but only cold is there. One is fire and one is frozen stone, a bitter masterpiece we built alone. Now I'm just the gray that's left behind, the shadow that the winter couldn't find. You used to read the margins of my soul, the broken lines that made the story whole. But now the ink is frozen on the page, a bird who's lost the meaning of its cage. The garden beds are buried under white, a burial for everything in sight. The porcelain is chipped around the edge. Another morning teetering on the ledge. I brew the tea exactly as you take it. A habit now, though I know I can't break it. There's a fragrance hanging heavy in the room, a sweetness that predicts a sudden doom. The scent of orchards where the shadows grow, the only kind of harvest that we know. It's the bitter almond kiss upon my lips, the poison that I drink in tiny sips, a nectar laced with salt and wood and bone, the sharpest taste of being left alone. You're the cyanide hidden in the sweet, the beautiful, the ruin, the defeat. And I'd die 1,000 times to feel the bliss of one more lethal, bitter almond kiss. Your letters are like pressed and dried out flowers that lost their scent through all these hollow hours. The ink is brown, the paper's turned to dust, the oxidation of a hollow trust. I read the words forever and I choke on the lingering smell of cherry wood and smoke. Nature has a way of warning us of stings in the brightest colors and the softest things. They say that almonds bloom before the spring, a promise that the winter cannot bring. But the fruit is wild, the stone is hard and cold, a story that was rotten as it rolled. It's the bitter almond kiss upon my lips, the poison that I drink in tiny sips, a nectar laced with salt and wood and bone, the sharpest taste of being left alone. You're the cyanide hidden in the sweet, the beautiful, the ruin, the defeat. And I'd die 1,000 times to feel the bliss of one more lethal, bitter almond kiss. My tongue is numb, the aftertaste is all I'll ever have. One drop of you, a lovely killing thing, bitter, so bitter. The tears settle cold beneath the rim, and the light is growing thin across the floor. I'm tracing every shadow, every wind of the ghost who doesn't live here anymore. You left your silence draped across the chair, a heavy velvet weight I cannot move. I'm breathing in the echoes of the air, trying to find the rhythm of our love. But I was only playing on borrowed strings, tuning my soul to a song that wasn't mine. I traded in my heart for the ache that beauty brings, and walked a path you never did design. Now the melody is fraying at the start, and the silence is the only thing that sings. I'm just a hollow wood and broken heart, tethered to these fragile borrowed strings. The ink is pale upon the letterhead, the words I wrote but never found the nerve to say, like autumn leaves that haven't turned to red, just the withered in the gold of yesterday. You were the bow that made the music swell, the tension in the wire, the sudden grace. And now I'm just a story you won't tell, tea is cold in a painted cup, and I'm too afraid to pick it up in this house of glass and quiet light. Everything breaks if you hold it tight. You left your shadow on the floor, a silent hinge on a closing door. And now the dust begins to bloom in the hollow corners of this room. We are only broken porcelain on a shelf. I cannot fix you, I can barely find myself. Fine line cracks where the light used to be. You were the glaze and the gravity for me. Now we're just white dust and jagged art, the beautiful wreckage of a shattered heart. I'm tracing the seams with a trembling hand, a geography I no longer understand. We were fired in a kiln of desperate hope, but the clay was thin and we couldn't cope. The ink on your letters is beginning to pale, like a ghost ship lost without a sail. There is a poetry in how we fell apart, but there is no rhythm in a silent heart. They say that gold can mend the seams to make a masterpiece of broken dreams, but my hands are shaking, the glue won't set. I'm not ready to be a sculpture yet. I'd rather be pieces on the ground than a hollow thing that makes no sound. We are only broken porcelain on a shelf. I cannot fix you, I can barely find myself. Fine line cracks where the light used to be. You were the glaze and the gravity for me. Now we're just white dust and jagged art, the beautiful wreckage of a shattered heart. Handle with care, that's the sign we should have worn before the porcelain was torn. Sweet, sharp and still, the room is quiet. The room is chill. The kettle whistles to an empty room. A sharp, thin silver needle in the grave. I'm sweeping up the dust of yesterday's bloom, while the sun forgets to wake the rest of the day. I poured a second cup by force of habit, then watched the steam dissolve into the wall. The ghost of us is reaching, I can't grab it. I'm just waiting for the porcelain to fall. And now it's just these cold tea mornings, the bitter taste of everything we left unsaid. No lightning strikes, no sirens, and no warnings, just the quiet ache of a half-made, unkept bed. I'm drinking down the shadows of the sun, staring at the place where you would lean. The hardest part of being finally done is the slow, cold wash of everything between. The sugar's at the bottom, white and still, like the promises we buried in the yard. I'm staring out the glass at the winter chill, finding the even breathing rhythmic and hard. You were the warmth that used to keep me steady, the amber glow before the world went black. I thought I'd have a lifetime to get ready, to drink the tea before the ice moved back. The leaves have settled in a dark design, like a map of places we will never go. I'm tracing every jagged, broken line underneath the ceiling's heavy, steady glow. In these cold tea mornings, the bitter taste of everything we left unsaid. No lightning strikes, no sirens, and no warnings, just the quiet ache of a half-made, unkept bed. I'm drinking down the shadows of the sun, staring at the place where you would lean. The hardest part of being finally done is the slow, cold wash of everything between. It's cold now, the cup is heavy in my hand, just a drag of what we were, sinking like the sand. ledger on the nightstand is a heavy ink-stained weight, where I catalog the wreckage and the whims of cruel fate. I'm auditing the silence where your laughter used to bloom, while the moonlight carves out hollows in the corners of the room. I used to track the hours by the rhythm of your breath. Now I'm bartering with shadows in a slow and quiet death. The math of us was simple till the variables changed. Now the architecture of my soul has been completely rearranged. I'm a merchant of the lonely, I'm a collector of the gray, gathering the almost that we threw along the way. The abacus is broken and the beads are on the floor. I'm losing count of everything I'm not worth fighting for. So I'm counting stars to keep from counting scars, searching for a fire in the wreckage of the Mars. One for every promise, two for every lie, a million silver teardrops hung across a velvet sky. It's a pauper's kind of riches, this gallery of light, trying to fill the inventory of a never-ending night. If I can name them all, maybe I can find the spark that leads me out of missing you and through the bitter dark. The literary ghosts of us are tucked between the sheets, like pressed and dried out flowers or the maps of empty streets. I'm proofreading the memories for the moment that we blurred, for the sharp and jagged syntax of a final heavy word. You were the grandest epic, I was just a footnote grace. Now I'm staring at the ceiling, trying to memorize your face. But the numbers keep on climbing as the constellations shift, and I'm drowning in the treasure of this catastrophic gift. 900,000 heartbeats that I wasted on a dream, 800,000 whispers lost inside a silent scream, 700 reasons why I should have let you go. But the stars are easier to count than the things I'll never know. Yeah, I'm counting stars to keep from counting scars, searching for a fire in the wreckage of the Mars. One for every promise, two for every lie, a million silver teardrops hung across a velvet sky. It's a pauper's kind of riches, this gallery of light, trying to fill the inventory of a never-ending night. If I can name them all, maybe I can find the spark that leads me out of missing you and through the bitter dark. 1,000,000,001, the counting's never done. A sky full of ones, a sky full of because. Just keep your eyes up, don't look at the empty cup. The stars The tide is a silver needle stitching the shore, collecting the pieces of what we're not anymore. I'm a fragment of cedar, salt-bitten and gray, carved by the things that you couldn't quite say. Once I was rooted, once I was green. Now I'm the debris of a life in between. The ocean remembers the weight of the bow, but the water is all that will hold me now. I'm just driftwood, aimless and white, washed up in the margins of a long, lonely night. You were the current, the pull and the gale. I was the timber, too brittle and frail. Now I lie where the foam and the memories break, learning how much of a heart is at stake. Just a ghost on the sand where the waterline ends, waiting for the sea to feed me again. The sun bleaches out every promise we made, turning the gold into a pale, hollow shade. There are names etched in bark that the seasons erase, just like the wind took the lines of your face. I'm heavy with water, I'm hollowed by brine, searching for a shore that I can't call mine. They say the sea gives and the sea takes away, but I'm just the wreckage that's settled to stay. I'm too tired to float, and I'm too broken to sink, stuck on the edge of a world on the blink. The gulls are screaming at the empty blue. I'm still tangled in the thought of you, smooth as a stone, cold as the spray, watching the horizon fade to gray. Driftwood on the sand, let go of my hand, let the water take me back. The atmosphere is heavy with the scent of coming rain, a chemistry of longing mixed with atmospheric pain. I'm tracing out the lineage of the tears upon your cheek, in a language made of minerals that I'm too tired to speak. You've got the dust of ancient words caught beneath your nails, while I am just the shore below that watches for your sails. The kitchen light is flickering, a dying yellow sun, while you're out chasing ghosts of who you finally become. The gravity is shifting, I can feel it in my bones. The distance between you and I is written in the stones. I'm a map of every canyon that you carved inside my chest, a bird without a compass, looking for a place to rest. Now you're back with drops of Jupiter still glistening in your hair, but you've forgotten how to breathe this common earthly air. You've seen the grandest wonders, the rings around the soul, while I was left to gather up the pieces of the whole. It's a literary tragedy, a soft and silver fall, to realize that I was never everything at all. Go on and find your light. I'll just be the shadow that you left behind tonight. Did you find the secret syntax in the center of a star? Did you find a version of yourself that knew just who you are? I'm reading through the journals of the years we spent in bloom, before you needed galaxies to fill a quiet room. Now you speak in metaphors of nebula and light, a wanderer who traded in the us for endless flight. I am just the gravity you had to break away, the heavy, grounded reality that you could never stay. Tell me, was the wind as cold as the silence in the hall? Was the view from the sound of single violin string snapping, followed by silence. The air has grown as heavy as the sea, a weightless pressure pressing on my chest. I'm watching curtains wave like kelp at me, while the sunlight sinks away into the west. I reach to touch the handle of the door, but the hallway stretches miles into the blue. I'm drifting inches off the hardwood floor, in the liquid memory of losing you. And I'm drowning slow in the shallows of the room, where the silence is the tide I can't outrun. It's a quiet kind of panic, a pale and velvet doom, waiting for the damage to be done. No splashing in the dark, no desperate cry, just the silver bubbles of a final breath underneath the ceiling's vast and vacant sky. I'm loving you to a slow and rhythmic death. The clock is ticking underwater now, muffled like a heart beneath the waves. I'd offer up a prayer or make a vow, but the water fills the hollows and the caves. You're a ghost of salt and sand upon the shore, standing where the earth is firm and dry. I don't know how to read The light is turning green, deep blue, and everything between. Just breathe the water in and let it go. Soft, distorted guitar swell that washes out like a wave. I'm scrolling through the archives of a better year, back when your digital ghost wasn't all I had here. The blue light is a sun that never provides any heat, watching the cursor blink to the rhythm of my heartbeat. I've got 1,000 photos saved in a cloud I can't touch, evidence of a person I still love way too much. Now you're just a series of ones and of zeros in a story where the stars never got to be heroes. I'm sending signals into the hollow black, waiting for a read receipt that never comes back. My skin is a circuit, my blood is a wire, and I'm freezing to death in your electric fire. I'm just a ghost in the machine, haunting the lines, looking for a heartbeat in your status designs. You've deleted the cache, you've cleared out the space, but I'm a fragmented memory you can't quite erase. It's an automated sorrow, systematic ache, the kind of motherboard failure that no one can fake. I'm screaming in code, but I'm still sight unseen, just a lonely, broken ghost in the machine. Broken ghost in the machine. The algorithm tries to tell me who to love next, but it doesn't understand the subtext of your text. It's a literary glitch when tear in the screen, the cruelest poetry I have ever seen. I'm trapped in the hardware of the things we once said, living in a hard drive instead of my head. The fans are spinning faster just to keep me from crying, while the battery on us is slowly, surely dying. System restart, but the data remains. I've got your syntax running through my veins. Disconnect the power, pull the silver plug. I'm still searching for the logic in a loveless shrug. I'm just a ghost in the machine, haunting the lines, looking for a heartbeat in your status designs. You've deleted the cache, you've cleared out the space, but I'm a fragmented memory you can't quite erase. It's an automated sorrow, systematic ache, the kind of motherboard failure that no one can fake. offline. I'm tracing the outlines of where you once laid, watching the colors of our memories fade. The coffee is cold and the silence is loud, just a ghost of a girl lost in a cloud. I reach for your hand, but I grab at the air. The ghost of your fragrance is still in the stare. I thought we were anchored, I thought we were deep, but you were a promise you couldn't quite keep. Now the floorboards are shaking, the windows are thin, and I'm letting the storm under my skin. And I'm drowning in ocean salt tears, sinking through all of these wasted years. The tide's pulling out, but I'm staying behind with the wreck of your heart and the ghost of your kind. It's a bitter taste, it's a heavy blue, just a vast, lonely water that leads back to you. You said that we'd sail till the edge of the world, but you left me stranded with my banners unfurled. Every letter I wrote is a message in glass, watching the ships in the distance just pass. The sand and the glass has all turned into stone. I never knew us could feel this alone. Is it deeper than sorrow? Is it wider than pain to be standing here parched in the middle of rain? You're the horizon I'll never quite reach, just a broken down shell on a gray empty beach. Yeah, I'm drowning in ocean salt tears, sinking through all of these wasted years. The tide's pulling out, but I'm staying behind with the wreck of your heart and the ghost of your kind. It's a bitter taste, it's a heavy blue, just a vast, lonely water that leads back to you. Ocean salt, it's all that's left of us. The waves keep coming, but they don't wash it away. Just another day in the blue. The lamp is humming low against the wall. places where we fall. I watch the map of you beneath your skin, the delicate thin glass where we begin. You're sleeping with your pulse against the light, a frantic bird that's lost the will for flight. I trace the rivers running down your wrist, the ghost of every hollow part we kissed. And it's so right there in the pale blue veins, the history of us, the quiet stays, a fragile lace that's holding back the flood, the weary rhythm of a tired blood. We are translucent now, we're paper thin, searching for the heart beneath the skin. But the blue just leads to where the cold remains, locked inside those aching pale blue veins. The ink we wrote in didn't leave a mark, just shadows moving softly in the dark. I used to think I knew the way you beat before the winter turned the marrow sweet. Now you are a portrait etched in ice. Love was never worth this heavy price, to see the architecture of your grief falling like a dead and frozen leaf. If I could breathe my color into yours, I'd bleed until I washed away these shores. But you are turning white as morning mist, a silhouette that's tired of being kissed. And it's alright there in the pale blue veins, the history of us, the quiet stains, a fragile lace that's holding back the flood, the weary rhythm of a tired blood. We are translucent now, we're paper thin, searching for the heart beneath the skin. But the blue just leads to where the cold remains, locked inside those aching pale blue veins, so thin I can see the goodbye coming through. Just a heartbeat, just a shade of blue, pale, so pale. boards hold the weight of what we didn't say. A heavy wooden history of pulling away. I'm cataloging moments like pressed flowers in a book, trying to remember how your heartbeat used to look. The kettle's whistling low, a lonely steady prayer, while I'm just breathing in the ghost of you, still hanging in the air. There are no sirens in this wreck, no fire or smoke to see, just the quiet collapse of a skyline that used to belong to me. It's a quiet, hard war, fought in the dark. No thunder or lightning, just a dying spark. I'm waving a white flag made of your old shirts, learning exactly how much silence hurts. This is the sound of a love going thin, a battle I lost before I could begin. My chest is a hallway where the lights have gone dim. It's a quiet, hard war, and I'm surrendering. The ink on our letters is starting to pale, like a ship lost at sea with a paper-thin sail. I've memorized the syntax of your goodnight sigh, the literary tragedy of a slow-motion goodbye. We're two different languages sharing a bed, a library of secrets that'll never be read. Don't raise your voice, it'll shatter the glass. Let the morning be soft, let the memory pass. We aren't a landslide, we aren't a flood, just a slow, cold winter settling in the blood. Pieces, oh baby, when you're all alone. Welcome to the ruins of a quiet heart throne. It's a quiet hard war, fought in the dark. No thunder or lightning, just a dying spark. I'm waving a white flag made of your old shirts, learning exactly how much silence hurts. This is the sound of a love going thin, a battle I lost before I could begin. My chest is a hallway where the lights have gone dim. It's a quiet, hard war, and I'm surrendering. Deep breath in, deep breath out. The peace is the loudest part. The war is over, I'm just heart. The telescope is aimed at nothing now. glass eye searching through the velvet gray. I'm mapping out the space you used to occupy before the gravity pulled your heart away. The rings around me are just debris and ice, the frozen remnants of a vow we couldn't keep. I'm orbiting a memory of your voice in a silence that is terrifying and deep. And they say the light takes hours to arrive from the golden giant hanging in the gloom. So I'm bathing in a glow that's already dead, while the emptiness expands inside this room. Oh, Saturn, you're a heavy kind of beautiful, a crown of dust for a king without a throne. I'm spinning in the dark of your periphery, learning how to be magnificent and alone. It's a long way down from the height of us, falling through the gas and the golden haze. I give up all the heavens just to touch the earth and find the ghost of you in the better days. The ink is pale, a script of faded charcoal, writing sonnets to a planet I can't reach. I am a satellite with a broken frequency, practicing the lessons that the shadows teach. You were the center, the pull, the steady axis. I was just the moon that lived to see you shine. Now I'm drifting past the edge of the solar system, crossed out of your life like a crooked line. If I could collapse the distance like a star, I'd fold the universe until I'm where you are. But the math of heartbreak is a cold hard thing, and I'm just a pebble caught inside your ring, spinning, just spinning. you settle cold in the porcelain cup, like the words we both held and then just gave up. You're a silhouette now, a ghost in the hall, tracing the cracks where the plaster starts to fall. I'm reaching for hands that are made of thin air, searching for us in an empty armchair. The moon is a spotlight on a stage made of dust, turning to iron what used to be trust. And we're just shadows dancing on a bedroom wall, stretched so thin until we're nothing at all. You pull the strings and I mimic the grace of a girl who still knows how to love your face. But the light is fading, the candle's gone black, and even a shadow can't find its way back. In this theater of silence, I'm learning to lose, just a puppet in love with the hand she didn't choose. The ink on your letters is beginning to pale, a story left breathless, a ship with no sail. I memorized the rhythm of your heartbeat's refrain. Now I only hear the tapping of the mercury rain. You're a charcoal sketch in a book I can't close, the thorn that remains when you've lost every rose. And we're just shadows dancing on a bedroom wall, stretched so thin until we're nothing at all. You pull the strings and I mimic the grace of a girl who still knows how to love your face. But the light is fading, the candle's gone black, and even a shadow can't find its way back. In this theater of silence, I'm learning to lose, just a puppet in love with the hand she didn't choose. If I cut the wires, would I learn how to stand, or just crumble to pieces in the palm of your hand? The tragedy isn't the ending we found, it's the way that we danced without making a sound. The sun's coming up, the walls going bare. I'm looking for you, but there's no one there. Just the ghost of emotion, just the shape of the dark, a hollow devotion, a dying spark. Shadows, only shadows. Resin dust is falling slow, like winter breath on a window pane. I'm pulling silver from the bow to find the rhythm of the rain. The velvet lining of the case is empty where you used to lean. I'm tracing shadows of your face and all the spaces in between. And it's a silent, shallow side at night, a Hollywood, a fading light. I'm playing notes you'll never hear, a symphony of salt and fear. The cello weeps without a string, for every song we'll never sing, just a low and lonely vibration in this house of desolation. You were the bridge and I the wood. Together we understood the fire, but now the grain is understood as nothing but a broken wire. I'm tuning heartbeats to a ghost, a minor key that has no end. The thing that I will miss the most is the harmony we used to live. The deeper the unspoken agony, I wrap my arms around the frame and whisper to the spruce your name. But wood is cold and strings are tied, and no one's coming home tonight. And it's a silent, shallow side at night, Hollywood, a fading light. I'm playing notes you'll never hear, a symphony of salt and fear. The cello weeps without a string, for every song we'll never sing, just a low and lonely vibration in this house of desolation. Listen to the end. It's the sound of a booming air, a sharp, sweet, unfinished prayer, just a sigh, just a long, soft The sky is the color of a quiet mistake, that lavender velvet before the heart breaks. I'm tracing the outlines of where you once leaned, a portrait of us that's been poorly convinced. it's all just soft bruises and watercolor size. The indigo rings underneath both our eyes. We're painting our ending in plum and insulate, a beautiful sorrow we realize too late. It doesn't stay crimson, it doesn't stay red, it turns into a mauve kind of silence instead. Just a soft bruise blooming where the love used to be, a permanent shadow of you inside me. Your name is a smudge on a damp paper page, a bird made of smoke in a gold-plated cage. I touch the sore places to feel if you're real, but the skin is too numb and the heart cannot heal. We're a gallery closed at the end of the year, dust on the frames of the things we held dear. They say that a bruise is just blood out of place, looking for a home in the lines of a face. But mine is a map of the way that you left, a slow motion study of being bereft. Yellowing edges, the ache turning pale, the light in the hallway, it's starting to fail. Purple and silver, dusk and the deep, a secret that even the scars couldn't keep. Just a soft bruise, don't touch the skin, let the dark in. The ground control is quiet, just the hum of the machine, between the static pulses and the spaces in between. I'm writing out your name upon the frosted cockpit glass, and watching as the memories of our summer mornings pass. The oxygen is thinning, or perhaps it's just the grief, a heavy tethered longing looking for a brief relief. I'm suspended in a capsule made of everything we built, now lined with velvet sorrow and a patchwork quilt of guilt. The stars are merely pinpricks in a canvas of despair. I'm reaching for a hand Now I'm a space oddity, drifting through the blue, a castaway in orbit, still circling back to you. The galaxy is gorgeous, but it's hollow and it's cold, like a story that was finished before it could be told. I'm floating in the nowhere, I'm a ghost among the spheres, counting down the light years in a bucket full of tears. Tell the world I'm sorry, tell the moon I've lost my way. I'm a billion miles from us and getting further every day. The key of physics says that nothing's truly lost, but they never calculated what a broken heart would cost. I see the curve of Earth, a marble shimmering and small, where we once stood together, thinking we could have it all. Now I'm just a glitch within the grand celestial design, a soul without a compass, crossing every silver line. I've memorized the craters like the lines upon your palm, searching for a sanctuary, searching for the calm. 10, 9, 8, I'm letting go of home. 7, 6, 5, I'm meant to be alone. The engines have gone silent, the fire's turned to ash. I'm just a bit of stardust waiting for the final crash. Yeah, I'm a space oddity, drifting through the blue, a castaway in orbit, still circling back to you. The galaxy is gorgeous, but it's hollow and it's cold, like a story that was finished before it could be told. I'm floating in the nowhere, I'm a ghost among the spheres, counting down the light years in a bucket full of tears. Tell the world I'm sorry, tell the moon I've lost my way. I'm a billion miles from us and getting further every day. Can you hear me? Can you see the spark? I'm a tiny light flickering, then swallowed by the dark. Just a space oddity, just a memory. Transmission ends with a soft echoing beep. The iron gate has forgotten how to swing, locked in the fever of amber and frost. I am digging for the ghost of a spring in a soil that counts everything lost. The statues are weeping in limestone and grit, while the sun becomes a pale paper thin. I found a lantern that you never lit, and I'm wearing the cold like a second skin. In the winter garden rust I wait for a bloom that arrived a season too late. The ivy is our bone. And I am a trellis standing alone. Everything golden has turned into gray, the slow, quiet run of a long yesterday. Just the oxidized echo of us, turning to powder, turning to rust. The sundial is buried in a drift of white, counting the hours that no longer pass. I'm a gardener, pruning the edges of night under a ceiling of shattered glass. We were a perennial, or so I believed, but the roots were shallow and the sky was deceived. Now the mercury drops in the throat of the glass, and I watch the ghosts of the butterflies pass. Silver turns black and the copper turns green. The space where you stood is a tear in the scene. I'd water the dirt with the salt from my eyes if I thought it could make a dead garden rise. But the metal is brittle, the hinges are tight, and I'm losing the bloom to the permafrost light. In the winter garden rust, I wait for a bloom that arrived a season too late. The ivy is heavy, the roses are bone, and I am a trellis standing alone. Everything golden has turned into gray, the slow, quiet run of a long yesterday. Just the oxidized echo of us, turning to powder, turning to rust. The nettles are brittle, the fountains are dry, a frozen breath, a geometric sigh. Let the snow cover the iron, let the iron just be. The morning's lost its appetite for gold, just a charcoal sketch of stories we once told. I'm washing out the crimson from the sheets, while the winter pulse of city traffic beats. There's a silence here that's heavy, thick and vast, a museum of a love that couldn't last. I'm reaching for a hand that isn't there, just a static hum of cold and empty air. Every color that you painted in my head is turning into graphite dust instead. Now I'm living in a grayscale grief, where the shadows offer no relief, just a spectrum made of silver and of stone, learning how to be a shade of all alone. No more sapphire skies or velvet green, only the ghosts of the light in between. Yeah, it's a quiet, faded kind of thief, this beautiful, broken, grayscale grief. I find your letters tucked in paper sleeves, like the skeletons of fallen autumn leaves. The ink is blurring at the sharper lines, where the yours and mine no longer intertwines. The world is muted, softened at the edge, like a prayer whispered off a window ledge. Break the prism, let the light go blind, leave the rainbow wreckage all behind. If the red was passion and the blue was true, then the gray is all that's left of loving you. Heavy-hearted grayscale grief, where the shadows offer no relief, just a spectrum made of silver and of stone, learning how to be a shade of all alone. No more sapphire skies or velvet green, only the ghosts of the light in between. Yeah, it's a quiet, faded kind of thief, this beautiful, broken, grayscale grief. Fading to white, fading to black, there's no way to bleed the color back, just a silver frame, just a heart